It's a good bounce back win for us today. I thought we started the game with the right tone on the defensive end. And so that was that was by design.
Chelsea Gay's name carried weight until it didn't. Her removal from the latest Team USA roster suggests more than just a roster shuffle. It marks the unraveling of a long-standing code in international basketball selection. For years, veteran fidelity, Olympic gold, and locker room influence shaped the blueprint. But that blueprint has been tossed. The new priority, direct impact, rapidity, and adaptation to a global game that no longer dread the red, white, and blue. In that light, Gray and Brittany Gurrier, once untouchables, become disposable. It's a decision that doesn't only defy tradition, it openly challenges it. This
move isn't about people, it's
about philosophy. USA Basketball has redrawn the map with a youth-focused roster that bets on adaptability, shooting, and athleticism over tenure and titles. With Caitlin Clark emerging as the offensive linchpin, the focus on a team that can evolve with the international game rather than rest on legacy. It's an uncomfortable transition, but a calculated one, signifying a new age that's built for 2028, not the leak hit like a tidal
wave.
Behind the scenes at Team USA, the murmurs had developed into a full-blown
roar.
Caitlin Clark was in.
Chelsea Gray
was out. Brittany Gurrier also gone.
And
the most unsettling thing, it wasn't a sluggish political maneuver. It was a clean, direct cut. Coach made the decision. That was the term circulating about, booming through locker rooms and front offices like a siren. It wasn't a loyalty move. This was strategy.
When
media pressed for answers, no one pointed fingers, but the quiet said,
plenty.
There was no sugar covering the selection wasn't about who had been
great.
It was about who was great now. And if that meant sidelining names that used to be automated locks, then so be
it.
Chelsea Gray, Olympic gold medalist, WNBA champion, veteran playmaker, found herself on the wrong side of this new
line.
Not because she wasn't skilled, not because she didn't have the accolades, but because the standard had shifted. The game has progressed, and Team USA wasn't waiting for anyone to catch
up.
Her absence from the roster was a convey that sentiment was out. Current output was in. This wasn't about disrespecting her resume. It was about harsh numbers and unpleasant facts.
Gray's
recent form had dipped. Injuries, age, and redundancy in her position gave the coaching staff every reason to move in a different direction. She still had supporters in the media and among fans, but the message from the top was unmissable. This team wasn't looking backward. Then there was Brittany Gurrier. Her name alone conveys weight. A decade of dominance and presence on the worldwide stage. But even Gurrier wasn't immune. The choice to leave her off the roster wasn't personal. It was philosophical. The new direction for Team USA is swift, versatile, perimeter-heavy, and the traditional big, no matter how iconic, doesn't fit that puzzle piece anymore. There's no questioning Gurrier's leadership or legacy, but the coaching staff had one job: construct a roster that could win against modern international competition. That means asking the unthinkable. What if legacy is a problem? What if it's slowing us down?
Cut fallout.
As soon as the roster leaked, the internet detonated.
Fans
were furious, puzzled, and in some cases thrilled. The exclusion of Gray and Grinder wasn't only stunning, it was sacrilegious to some. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's presence raised an entirely distinct firestorm. Hadn't she been left off the original Olympic roster? Had something changed? Or was this always the plan? Insiders said the shift wasn't about pressure. It wasn't about TV ratings, jersey sales, or Instagram followers. It was about fit. Clark shot her court vision, her ability to stretch defenses. It made her indispensable. She didn't make the team because she was popular. She made it because the style of play needed her. Kathy Angelbert didn't confirm much, but her messaging around the choice had a
distinct undertone.
The league was watching
Closely.
Team USA had to not only win, they had to evolve. And in Engelbert's universe, evolution means listening to data, adapting to global trends, and making choices that won't always please everyone. And certainly some judgments sting, but her attitude was
Clear.
this is about the upcoming chapter. Holding on to the past, no matter how decorated, won't prepare the team for what's coming in Paris or Los Angeles. Stepping onto the roster was a marketing gimmick. She's been carrying the Indiana fever on her back since day
1.
pulling off highlight plays and draining logo threes like it's a
Tuesday.
Her numbers spoke louder than any debating show, and her capacity to changing the tempo of a game was exactly what this roster needed. Still, her selection ignited a match in a room full of
Gasoline.
people. Asked, how could someone got cut weeks ago and now be at the center of the team? But those individuals weren't watching close enough. The game is shifting, and Clark isn't the exception. She's the prototype. This isn't just a roster turnover. It's a blueprint overhaul. Team USA's new philosophy is built around spacing, pace, and flexibility. Gone are the days of relying on a dominant post-up center to bulldoze through smaller teams.
That
Formula doesn't work anymore. Not when other nations are drilling threes, pressing on defense, and pushing transition for 40 minutes straight. So, the coaches modified the priority.
now.
Athletes that can transition across three or for places, hit outside shots, and defend the perimeter. The consequence? Younger, quicker, sharper team built not for memories, but for the long game. It's all about LA 2028. This isn't simply a team for Paris. This is a foundation. The average age of the new roster is in the mid-20s. A whole generational leap. From prior Olympic lineups, every name picked was chosen with 2 cycles in mind. Win today and flourish together for the following 4 years. That's where Clark becomes pivotal. She's not simply another
Score.
She's the system developed around her. Add defenders, shooters, and wings. Something can run. That's the vision.
A core.
That sticks, that learns together, and peaks precisely when the spotlight hits in Los Angeles. But with every name added, there's one left behind. And for fans of Griner Gray or other veterans, the herd is real. These players built USA basketball's repute. Their absence feels like an eraser, even if it's not intended that way. Caitlin Clark herself knows the weight of the moment. Publicly, she stayed silent, courteous. However, insiders claim even she was caught off guard by the unexpected turn in direction. She's not attempting to replace anyone. She's attempting to live up to the opportunity. That pressure, it's enormous. Here's the bigger picture. International women's basketball is catching up rapidly.
Countries like
Australia, France, and Spain aren't terrified of Team USA regardless. They've got shooters, slashers, and techniques that penalize teams stuck in the old ways.
if
USA didn't evolve, they were going to
lose.
It's that simple.
So now it's a
Race not against other teams, but against time. Can this new bunch gel in time for Paris? Can Clark lead under pressure? Can the coaching staff survive the fallout if things don't work? That's what's on the line. The future of USA dominance hinges not on what's safe, But what's smart? Caitlin Clark didn't just make the roster. She earned the green light. In scrimmages and workouts, the feedback was consistent. She was straining defenses in ways Team USA hadn't seen since Diana Taurasi's peak. Her range forces opponents to guard her 30 feet from the basket, opening up driving lanes and interrupting structured defensive sets. That's not a luxury. It's a requirement in today's international game. But it's not only
The shots.
it's the pace she plays with, the way she runs off screens, threads, passes at impossible angles, and keeps pressure on every possession. She wasn't added to be a role player. She was brought in to lead. That's not a minor
Change.
That's a franchise-level shift. In philosophy, Veronica Burton was another modest name left off the list. Not a headline grabber, but defensive presence and solid play had made her a sleeper selection among analysts. And yet, she too was cut in favor of players with higher upside, more offense, additional versatility. It's not that she did anything incorrect. It's that the ceiling wasn't high enough. That's the frigid part of the process. USA basketball isn't filling voids anymore. They're chasing, dominate, and if a player can't deliver on both ends at a pace that matches worldwide speed, there's no place left.
It's
Severe, yet it's the kind of harsh that gets you gold medals. If it were drama, insiders at the Team USA training camp remarked it was intense from the outset. Whistle. No one's location felt safe. Players who were once believed locks were getting outplayed. Younger talent was talking more, demanding the ball, pushing the pace. The veterans, some adjusted, some didn't. That tension simmered every day. At one point, a scrimmage finished with coaches huddled softly in the corner, writing notes. Someone overheard a staffer mutter, "We're going to have to be brave." That's the kind of energy that shaped this roster. Not handshakes and memories, but game tape and hard conversations. You could view it in the exhibition matches, too. The tempo was different. The team wasn't grinding out sluggish possessions or putting the ball into the post every other trip. They were flying. Clark running pick and rolls, cutting defenders apart, wings spacing the floor, bigs who could switch and defend on the perimeter. This wasn't evolution. That was revolution. Fans viewing those gamers found they weren't viewing the old Team USA formula. They were seeing something speedier, meaner, more flexible. Something that didn't need to rely on stellar power from yesterday. This team was about now breakdown. So, who made the final call? That portion isn't public, but sources close to the personnel said it came down to one person, the head coach. When it was time to complete the roster, there was no voting, no appeals, just a decision.
Coach made
The decision. That quote kept repeating because it carried weight. And it's not only about drafting players. It's about committing to a style. You can't say you seek speed and then keep the slow-footed veteran. You can't say you want shooting and then disregard the best shooter in the league. This coach knew that.
and
Instead of hedging bets, they doubled
down.
Caitlin Clark finally broke her silence a few days following the leak.
In a
Very measured statement, she indicated she was honored and pleased to represent Team USA and that she planned to stay focused on getting better every day.
but
People who know her claim the flames below is extremely genuine. She's aware of the backlash. She knows the narrative. Some assume she's merely there to sell
tickets.
but her camp is obvious.
She
Wants to prove beyond any question that she's not merely the future of women's